The Inglewood night hums a low electric song. It's a melody of passing cars, distant sirens, and the bass thumping from a corner store that never seems to close. Streetlights cast long, distorted shadows that dance on the pavement, making familiar sidewalks feel strange and unpredictable. Tonight, like every night, is a gamble. A roll of the dice where the stakes are safety, freedom, and the few dollars needed to make it to sunrise. The air is thick with the smell of exhaust fumes and late-night tacos, a scent that clings to everything. It's a world that operates on its own clock, where the most important moments happen long after the rest of the city has gone to sleep. Here, survival is a quiet, constant negotiation. It's in the way you watch the cars that slow down, the way you read the body language of a stranger approaching from a block away. Every interaction is a potential transaction, a potential threat, or a fleeting moment of connection in the vast, lonely expanse of the city. The darkness doesn't just hide things, it changes them. It makes the familiar seem dangerous and the dangerous seem normal. People move with a purpose born from necessity, their faces illuminated for a brief second by passing headlights, revealing flickers of exhaustion, determination, or fear. This is the stage where the story of Master J and Lil Mama unfolds every single night. They stand near the corner, a familiar silhouette against the glow of a liquor store sign. It's their office, their battleground, their entire world condensed into a few square feet of cracked concrete. The night offers no promises. It only offers possibilities, both good and bad. A good night means enough money to pay for a motel room, to get a hot meal, to breathe for another day. A bad night means harassment, violence, or the hollow feeling of coming up empty-handed. The uncertainty is a heavy blanket, a constant pressure that shapes every decision, every word spoken, every cautious glance over the shoulder. It's a life lived on the edge, where the line between getting by and falling apart is impossibly thin. For Master J and Lil Mama, this isn't just a job, it's the air they breathe. They navigate this world with a practiced rhythm, a silent understanding that has been built over years of shared struggle. They know which corners are safe, which cars to avoid, and which faces to trust. The city at night is a living entity, and they have learned its language, its moods, its unforgiving rules. The neon lights paint their faces in hues of red and blue, witnesses to their resilience. They are not just surviving the night, they are staring it down, holding their ground, and trying to carve out a small piece of peace in a world that offers very little. Master J wasn't born into the California sun. His story began far away, in the biting cold of Ohio, where grey skies hung heavy over a life that unraveled early. He speaks of it in short, clipped sentences, the memories still sharp and painful. He was just a kid when his world fell apart, leaving him with nothing but the clothes on his back and a gnawing emptiness in his stomach. Homelessness was his first teacher. It taught him about the harshness of the world, the indifference of strangers, and the deep, primal instinct to survive. He learned to sleep in abandoned buildings, to find warmth in library basements, and to move through the world like a ghost, unseen and unheard. The streets of Ohio were a brutal classroom. He learned to be resourceful, to see value in what others threw away. He learned to read people quickly, to know who to trust and who to fear. These weren't lessons from a book, they were etched into his soul by hunger and cold. California was a dream, a whisper of warmth and opportunity that he chased on a Greyhound bus with a one-way ticket. He arrived in Los Angeles with no plan, no contacts, and no money. The city was bigger, louder, and just as unforgiving as the one he'd left behind. The sun was warm, but the nights were just as cold when you had nowhere to go. He found his footing in Inglewood, not through a legitimate job, but through the complex ecosystem of the streets. He saw girls working the corners, vulnerable and disorganized, and his survival instincts kicked in. He didn't see himself as a pimp in the traditional violent sense. In his mind, he was a manager, a protector. He provided a sense of order, a layer of security in a chaotic world. He would watch over them, negotiate with dangerous clients, and ensure they had a safe place to rest. He was offering what he never had, someone to watch your back. It was a role born from his own experiences of being alone and unprotected. This mindset became his code. "I'm not a pimp, I'm a manager of personalities," he often says, his voice low and serious. It's a distinction that is crucial to him. He sees his work as a form of harm reduction, a necessary evil in a world that offers few good choices. He manages the risks, handles the threats, and takes a cut to keep the operation running. It's a business model built on the foundation of his own homelessness. He knows what it's like to be at the bottom, and in his own complicated way, he believes he is keeping the women he works with from hitting that same rock bottom. He provides a structure, however fragile, in a life defined by its absence. Survival is a heavy weight to carry, and Master J feels it in his bones. It's a constant humming anxiety that never fully disappears, even on the good nights. Every car that cruises by too slowly, every argument that breaks out down the block, every siren wailing in the distance is a potential threat to his fragile stability. He is always on alert, a sentinel watching over his small precarious kingdom. His past has taught him that safety is an illusion, and that disaster is always just one bad decision away. This vigilance has taken its toll, carving deep lines into his face and putting a permanent weariness in his eyes. He is a man who has not known a moment of true peace in decades. His role as a manager is a tightrope walk over a canyon of dangers. He deals with violent clients, with rivalries on the street, and with the constant threat of law enforcement. A single mistake could land him in jail, or worse, in the hospital. He's been threatened, robbed, and assaulted more times than he can count. Each incident is a stark reminder of the world he inhabits. He has learned to project an aura of toughness, a shield to protect the vulnerability he carries inside. But the shield is heavy, and holding it up day after day, night after night is exhausting. The stress manifests in physical ways, a constant tension in his shoulders, a clenched jaw, an inability to ever fully relax. The money provides a temporary reprieve, but it never buys peace of mind. It pays for the motel room, the food, the necessities that keep them going. But the cash is fluid, coming in one hand and going out the other to cover the high cost of living on the margins. There are no savings accounts, no retirement plans, no safety nets. Every dollar is earned in a high-risk environment and spent almost immediately on basic survival. This hand-to-mouth existence creates a cycle of dependency on the very life he dreams of escaping. The need for money is the chain that keeps him shackled to the corner, to the danger, to the unending stress. Master J carries the weight not just for himself, but for Lil Mama. Her safety is his primary concern, a responsibility that presses down on him with immense force. He feels every risk she takes as if it were his own. When she gets into a client's car, a part of him goes with her, waiting in a state of suspended anxiety until she returns safely. This shared burden is the core of their partnership, but it is also a source of immense emotional strain. He is more than a manager, he is a guardian, a warrior, a man haunted by the what-ifs. The weight of survival is a shared load, a crushing pressure they bear together in the lonely hours of the night.
Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
Lil Mama's story is etched into the landscape of Inglewood. She was a teenager when she first stepped into the game, a girl trying to navigate the treacherous currents of poverty and neglect. Her childhood was not a time of innocence but a crash course in survival. She learned early that the world was not a safe or fair place, especially for a young woman with few resources and even fewer options. The streets became her home, her school, and her employer all at once. She learned the rules quickly because she had to. Hesitation or naivety could have devastating consequences, and she saw firsthand what happened to those who weren't careful. Over the years, she has become a seasoned veteran. She knows how to read a situation in a split second, how to spot danger in a client's eyes, how to de-escalate a tense moment with a carefully chosen word. Her instincts are sharp, honed by more than a decade of nightly risks. She carries herself with a confidence that masks the fear that is always lurking just beneath the surface. Each night is a performance. She projects an image of control, of allure, of untouchability, because showing vulnerability is an invitation for exploitation. But behind the hardened exterior is a woman who is tired, a woman who has seen too much. The game is a relentless cycle of risk and reward. The money can be good, offering a taste of freedom and the ability to provide for herself. It pays for a roof over her head, for a hot meal, for the small comforts that make a hard life bearable. But the price is steep. She faces the constant threat of violence, of disease, of arrest. Every time she gets into a stranger's car, she is stepping into the unknown, placing her trust in the fragile hope that this person will not harm her. The emotional toll is immense. It's the degradation, the judgment, and the constant need to compartmentalize her feelings just to get through the night. Despite the hardness of her life, Lil Mama holds onto a core of hope. She dreams of a different future, one where her safety is not a nightly gamble. She talks about wanting a small, quiet apartment, a simple 9-to-5 job, the kind of normalcy that most people take for granted. These dreams are what fuel her resilience. They are the light she holds onto in the darkest moments. She is not just a survivor, she is a woman with aspirations, with a deep longing for peace and stability. The tough persona she wears on the street is a suit of armor, but underneath it is a person with a heart full of hopes for a life beyond the corner. The game exacts a price that can't be counted in dollars. It's a toll paid in flesh, in spirit, and in time. For Lil Mama, the physical risks are a daily reality. She has endured violence that has left both visible and invisible scars. She has been in cars with men who saw her not as a person, but as an object they could use and discard. Each encounter is a roll of the dice with her physical safety. The fear of disease is a constant shadow, a worry that lingers long after a transaction is over. Her body is her tool for survival, but this work wears it down, leaving her exhausted and aching in ways that go far beyond simple tiredness. The emotional cost is even steeper. The life requires a constant disassociation from oneself, a splitting of the mind from the body. To survive, burying her fear, hurdled, stereotyped, and dismissed by people who know nothing of her story, of her humanity, of the impossible choices she has faced. This life steals time. Days blur into nights, and years slip by in a haze of survival. The dreams of youth fade, replaced by the more immediate and pressing need to make it to the next day. Lil Mama often speaks of the years she has lost, the opportunities she never had. She missed out on proms, on college, on the simple, carefree experiences of growing up. Instead, her youth was spent learning the brutal calculus of the streets. Now, as a woman in her 30s, she feels the passage of time acutely. The energy it takes to work the streets is immense, and she knows she cannot do this forever. The game ages you quickly, both inside and out. The money, which once seemed like a solution, becomes part of the trap. It creates a lifestyle and a dependency that is incredibly difficult to break away from. A good night can bring in hundreds of dollars, far more than a minimum wage job could offer. This makes the thought of starting over at the bottom of the legitimate workforce feel daunting, almost impossible. How do you explain a 10-year gap on your resume? How do you transition from the fast, risky cash of the streets to a small, steady paycheck? The price of the game is not just the danger and the emotional toll. It is the way it closes doors to other futures, leaving you feeling stuck with no easy way out. The relationship between Master J and Lil Mama is not a simple one. It cannot be easily labeled as employer and employee or as a traditional romance. It is something far more complex, a bond that was forged in the crucible of shared hardship and mutual desperation. They found each other when they were both at their lowest, two people adrift in a world that had offered them little kindness. Their connection was born from a shared understanding of what it means to be on the outside, to be judged, to be fighting for your next meal. This shared experience is the bedrock of their relationship, a foundation of trust that is rare and precious in their world. They operate as a team, a unit built for survival. Master J is the strategist, the lookout, the protector who watches from the shadows. He handles the logistics of the night, scouting for danger and intervening when a situation looks like it might turn violent. Lil Mama is the front line, the one who takes the direct risks, using her street smarts and intuition to navigate the delicate dance with clients. They have a non-verbal language, a system of glances and subtle gestures that communicates more than words ever could. It's a partnership where each person's survival is intrinsically linked to the others. They are each other's only safety net. This bond goes deeper than business. They share meals together in cheap motel rooms, watch TV to escape the noise of the streets, and talk about their fears and dreams in the quiet hours before dawn. He listens when she talks about the emotional toll of the work, offering a comforting presence that asks for nothing in return. She sees the weariness in his eyes and understands the immense pressure he is under. They care for each other when they are sick. They defend each other fiercely, and they provide the emotional support that they cannot find anywhere else. In a life defined by instability, they are each other's only constant. Their loyalty to one another is absolute. In the world of the streets, betrayal is common, and trust is a commodity that is easily broken. But between them, there is an unspoken pact. They have faced down threats together, celebrated small victories together, and endured countless losses side by side. This shared history has woven them together so tightly that it's hard to imagine one without the other. Theirs is a love story, but not a conventional one. It's a story of two damaged people who found a way to build something solid and real in the midst of chaos, a testament to the human need for connection even in the most unforgiving of circumstances. In many ways, Master J and Lil Mama are two halves of the same whole, each providing what the other lacks. Master J brings a sense of structure and protection to their lives. His past taught him to be a planner, to think several steps ahead, to anticipate danger before it arrives. He is the guardian at the gate, the one who tries to shield them from the worst parts of their world. Without his watchful eye, Lil Mama's life would be infinitely more dangerous. He is her anchor, the steadying force that allows her to navigate the turbulent waters of the street. He worries about the logistics so that she can focus on the immediate task at hand. Lil Mama, in turn, provides the income and the emotional core of their partnership. She is the one who earns the money that keeps them housed and fed. Her courage and resilience are the engine that powers their survival. But more than that, she brings a softness and humanity to Master J's hardened world. She reminds him of the reasons why they are fighting so hard, for a shred of dignity, for a moment of peace, for the hope of a better life. She sees past his tough exterior to the man underneath, the one who is tired and scared. Her presence grounds him, giving his protective instincts a purpose and a focus. Their dynamic is a delicate balance of dependence and support. He depends on her earnings, and she depends on his protection. This interdependence could easily become toxic, but they have managed to build a relationship based on mutual respect rather than exploitation. He never forces her to work. The decision is always hers. He respects her limits and her intuition. She, in turn, trusts his judgment and his commitment to her safety. It is a partnership of equals, each contributing their strengths to the shared goal of making it through another day. They are a team in the truest sense of the word, stronger together than they could ever be apart. This synergy allows them to create a small bubble of stability in an unstable world. In the anonymity of a motel room, away from the prying eyes of the street, they can let their guards down. They are not Master J, the street manager, and Lil Mama, the hustler. They are just J and Mama, two people trying to find comfort in each other's company. They share jokes, complain about their day, and dream about the future. These moments of normalcy are their sanctuary, the glue that holds them together. They complete each other, filling in the empty spaces left by a lifetime of hardship, forming a single resilient unit against the world. The dream of leaving the life is a constant quiet whisper in the background of their noisy world. It's a conversation they have in hushed tones in the early morning hours, after the adrenaline of the night has faded and exhaustion has set in. The dream is not grand or glamorous. It's simple, almost painfully so. They talk about getting a small apartment in a quiet neighborhood, far away from the sirens and the street corner drama. They imagine having a regular job, something legal and steady, where the biggest stress is a difficult customer or a looming deadline, not a threat of violence. Master J is tired. The decades he has spent on the streets have worn him down to the bone. The constant vigilance, the need to always be tough, has taken a heavy toll on his spirit. He dreams of peace. He fantasizes about a life where he doesn't have to look over his shoulder, where he can sleep through the night without waking up at every sound. He talks about wanting to do something simple, like working in a warehouse or as a security guard, a job where he can still use his protective instincts but in a safe and legitimate way. He wants to finally let go of the weight of survival he has carried for so long. Lil Mama shares this deep-seated fatigue. The performance of being Lil Mama every night is draining her soul. She longs for anonymity, for the freedom to just be herself without the armor she has to wear. Her dreams are about stability and safety. She imagines going to a community college, maybe getting a certificate to become a medical assistant or a hairdresser. She wants a life where her worth is not determined by her looks or her ability to please a stranger, but by her skills and her hard work. She wants to build a future that she can be proud of, a life that is truly her own. But the path out is fraught with obstacles. They have no savings, no credit, and criminal records that close many doors before they even have a chance to knock. The transition from the street economy to the legal one feels like trying to cross a vast, unbridgeable chasm. How do you start over when your past is a constant anchor? The fear of failure is immense. The street, for all its dangers, is what they know. The thought of leaving it is both liberating and terrifying. The whispers of a different life are what keep them going, but turning those whispers into a reality is the hardest challenge they have yet to face. Ultimately, the story of Master J and Lil Mama is not about the streets, the money, or the game. It is a story about humanity. It is about two people who, against all odds, have managed to hold on to their capacity for love, loyalty, and hope in a world designed to strip them of all three. They are not the one-dimensional stereotypes you see in movies or on the news. They are not simply a pimp and a prostitute. They are complex, flawed, and deeply human individuals with histories that have shaped them and dreams that propel them forward. Their story is a reminder that behind every label, there is a person with a beating heart. What they wish people understood is the pain that lies beneath the surface. They wish people could see the scared kid in Ohio that still lives inside Master J, the one who just wants to feel safe. They wish people could see the teenage girl in Lil Mama, who was forced to grow up too fast, the one who dreams of a life of simple normalcy. Their choices were not made in a vacuum. They were made from a place of desperation, a lack of options, and a powerful will to survive. They are the products of a system that failed them long before they ever set foot on an Inglewood corner. Their dream is the same as anyone else's. They want to be safe. They want to be loved. They want to have a purpose. They want to build a future that is better than their past. The details may be different, but the fundamental human desires are universal. They long for a day when they can leave the pavement behind for good, when their lives are no longer defined by the risks they take each night. They dream of a home, of peace, of a love that doesn't have to be protected by constant vigilance. It is a dream of quiet dignity, a dream of finally being able to rest. Their story is true. It is happening right now, tonight, on a street corner in a city that is both beautiful and brutal. Master J and Lil Mama are real people, and their journey is a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. They are a reminder that we must look beyond the easy stereotypes and see the individuals within. To understand their story is to understand the profound human cost of poverty, trauma, and a society that too often looks away. Their dream of a life beyond the pavement is a powerful, universal plea for compassion, for understanding, and for a second chance.